So, does getting started with an essay feel like a struggle? Do you sit and stare at a blank page, waiting for inspiration to strike? You are not alone, guys, if you feel like this about writing an essay. So many people struggle with just the getting started part. Basically, it's a feeling like standing at the foot of the mountain and looking up at how far you've got to climb. But here's the thing, guys, if you have a map, aka a good structure and a plan, getting started and getting going and actually probably writing quite quickly will be much easier. A good structure will mean that your work will be much better organised and make a lot more sense. So in this video, we're going to look at a super useful essay structure which has helped many of my students over the years. And you can use this for IELTS, CAE, university assignments, college assignments, this kind of thing. Now this is an argument-based essay structure, so you can only use it when answering an essay question which asks you to present an argument for something, to debate something, to look at the pros and cons, or say how far you'd agree or disagree and things like that. Before we get started, guys, I'm Sabrah from Love English, your British University English teacher. So without further ado, let's get going. Let's help you improve your essay structure so you never have to stare at a blank page again. First of all, we're looking at a 5-paragraph essay structure. 5-paragraph. Now, this can be extended if you're writing a longer university assignment, but for IELTS, for CAE, for many of the English exams, 5 paragraphs is sufficient. This is going to be our example question. The issue of who should pay for healthcare, the individuals themselves or governments, has been a much debated topic in the latter half of the 20th century and beyond. Write an essay in favour or against individuals paying for their own healthcare. So paragraph 1, this will be your introduction. A good introduction will always start with a time phrase. However, don't use things like nowadays, recently, at the moment. They don't sound very academic and teachers, trust me, are sick of seeing them. Instead, try to use something which is a bit more academic. For example, you could say, in the last decade, in recent years, or you could say something like, the issue of, and then the issue is a current and pressing problem. The next thing you want in your introduction is some topic background. Now, topic background is essentially just an introduction generally to the topic. You may wish to briefly mention the key opinions or viewpoints on the topic, any key statistics or dates, something like this, but keep this very brief. So let's have a look at some example topic background for our question. Some people argue that our health is our individual responsibility and should not be something which is paid for from public funds, whilst others argue that for some people paying for their own healthcare may not be possible, and so the fairer and kinder thing to do is that everyone has access to free healthcare provided through public funds. So from that, you will see that both viewpoints were briefly introduced. That is all you need for some topic background. If you are doing a longer assignment for a college paper or university assignment, I do suggest that you include more information in your topic background. Any key facts, dates, and perhaps also defining any key terms that you will be using. For example, if you're talking about photosynthesis and its effect, define what photosynthesis is. They may be important for the reader to understand from the beginning. Then you want to clearly state what you are going to argue for. This is very important, as without this, the essay feels a little aimless and the reader doesn't know where they are from the beginning. So it's important to state your argument in your introduction. Your argument is known as a thesis statement, and good phrases to use as you present your argument are these. This essay will present an argument for, and then say your argument, or this essay will consider both perspectives but will aim to present an argument for or against, something like this. You could also say this essay will investigate, then your topic, but aims to demonstrate or to show, and then state your argument. So many options for this. Let's look at our example argument for this essay. This essay will present an argument against individuals paying for their own healthcare and will justify this perspective in the points stated below. So that was our introduction. Now moving on to paragraph 2. So there are two options here. You can either present your argument first and then later mention the counter-argument. The counter-argument is the opposite argument to yours, so the opposite viewpoint. Or you can first look at the counter-argument and then refute it, meaning show in some way why it is weak, or show why you don't think it's a good argument. This can be called a refutation or a rebuttal. And in a sense, this is your argument because you're showing why you think the opposite side isn't good and why your argument is better. So it's still your own argument, but at some point we have to mention what the counter-argument is in a valid way. For this essay, let's start by looking at the counter-argument first, and then we will move on to our argument. Let's look at an example. The issue of individuals needing to pay for their own healthcare is complex, but is still an approach that is supported by many. Supporters of this view, such as the Republican Party in the US, generally consider that health is a personal responsibility and that if you take care of your health by maintaining a healthy diet, exercising, and not indulging in bad habits such as smoking or excessive drinking, you will not need to spend lots of money on your healthcare. If you wanted to, if you were writing a longer essay, you could go into a bit more detail, but you don't want to spend too much time on the counter-argument, as of course you want to focus on your argument. So now you would need to then debate this, so refute this in some way, meaning show why you think it is flawed. Good phrases to introduce a refutation include however, or whilst this may be true in some cases, nevertheless, or whilst there may be some truth to this, the evidence against this is arguably strong. That's a very nice one. If you can memorize that one, that will be very useful in an English exam. So then, of course, we will go on to say why you think this is flawed. And this takes us into paragraph 3. So our refutation and our point of view are one here. Let's begin paragraph 3 by looking at how we would do this. A great formula to follow for paragraphs is the point, example, explanation structure. Your point will be what you want to say, your example will be an example, and the explanation is where you explain more, you go into more detail, you expand your point. So here you could begin your paragraph 3 by saying, first of all, many diseases are not caused by diet and lifestyle and are caused by genetics. They are hereditary. So in fact, it doesn't matter what you would do, you could still become ill. Then you would go to your example. Your example could be, cancer is hereditary and tends to run in families. Of course, you can minimize your chances of getting cancer by having a healthy lifestyle and not drinking and smoking, but people who have a healthy lifestyle have still got ill with cancer. So it may not always be the case that personal responsibility and health go hand in hand. Your explanation here could be, individual responsibility doesn't in fact come into it as much as some people may say. As we said in the example, many diseases are hereditary and your diet and lifestyle can have little impact on those. Of course, you may want to include another example in that paragraph of another hereditary illness, and you may want to expand the point a bit more depending on how many words you have to write for your answer. Next, paragraph 4. This is your argument again. So you want to do another PEE paragraph here. My second point here would be, for some people, paying for their own healthcare is simply unaffordable. My example would be, not everyone earns the same. A waitress and a lawyer do not earn the same amount, but they may both have the same chance of getting unwell, but one can simply afford their healthcare more than the other. It doesn't seem fair that one should suffer just because of one's career choice. Then your explanation could be something like this. Therefore, if we all pay a contribution, then we are paying based on what we earn, what we can afford. So effectively, we are paying for our healthcare, but we are making the contribution that we can based on what we earn. This seems fairer and kinder for everyone, as this way we are all paying, but according to what we have available. Again, in a longer essay, you could expand that point further. Now, finally, paragraph 5, your conclusion. This is where you want to draw your main points together. So you want to refer back to your main points. and you want to restate your argument, so say why your argument is better than the counter-argument again. You may also wish to offer some solutions to this problem. Any ideas you may have on how this could be solved, you could do that, but don't introduce any more new points in favour of your argument. You should have done that in your essay. Let's have a look at an example conclusion. Therefore, it can be seen that despite the fact that, of course, some illnesses are caused by diet and lifestyle, not all are. And so punishing those who can't afford to pay for their own healthcare seems unreasonable when their illness may not be their fault. It goes without saying that the government should invest in education about how to take care of our diet and lifestyle, so that health services are not burdened by preventable illnesses. However, at the same time, forcing everyone to pay for their own healthcare when they may not be able to afford it seems unfair. As a consequence, all of society contributing through taxation seems to be the fairest option overall. So you can see in that conclusion, we considered the counter-argument and said again why we thought it wasn't good. We restated our argument and we also offered possible solutions that would make our argument even stronger. That was that the government could educate the public more in order to avoid preventable illnesses that are related to diet and lifestyle. This way, less people would complain about the fact that they're having to pay for individuals who are irresponsible. So we also offered a possible solution. So in a nutshell, that would be our 5-paragraph essay structure, suitable for IELTS, CAE, and also college papers and university assignments. However, if you were writing any of those, you would probably want to write more paragraphs and extend your point, but you could still use the same structure. I do hope this was useful, guys. Please ask me questions below about anything in this video that you're not sure about. You can ask me suggestions about how you could improve your writing and things like that. And do let me know if you would like a video on linking words and which words to use in which part of the essay. Good luck with your English exams if you're taking them, or your university assignments. And if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. We'll see you soon on Love English, guys. Bye bye.